If you're on the fence about whether or not to get the Apple AirPod Pros, then don't worry, because so was I, and it took me some time to decide whether or not I was going to part with my hard-earned cash and buy these. But once I started to understand what they could really do for me and how much they could change my life, I had to have them. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why. So there's three things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about comfort, I want to talk about sound quality, and I want to talk about convenience, because they are the things that clinch this for me. But I feel like comfort is the thing we have to talk about first, because if these don't fit, which I know the previous versions didn't for a lot of people, if they're falling out of your ears, they're just not going to work. You're going to end up sending them back or not wearing them. So Apple had to sort this out this time around. So when they arrive in their box, take them out, pop them in your ears and see how they feel. Just make sure I get these the right way around. And if they're feeling good, then run the Apple test. They've got a facility where you can have a fit test. Double check with that you've got a good fit. If it's telling you you haven't, you've got other options. In the pack, you've got a large and a small version of the tips or the buds, whatever you want to call them. Try those out, see if they feel better. If they don't, there's actually aftermarket options available as well. Memory foam, all sorts of things that should hopefully help everybody find a good fit for their ears. You can even get clips to keep them on and make sure they don't fall off down that drain. Now, if they do fall down the drain, there is actually a search and rescue feature where you can work out where these have gone. So that's really handy because they are quite small, so they could be easy to lose. Right, now we've got to talk about sound, because this is one of the deal clinchers for these. It's incredible what they can do. We're not talking about sound from the point of view of how these play your music and how they make your music sound. That's important. These aren't the best headphones in the world for that. You can find other ones out there if that's the top of your list. But that's not the top of the list for most people. For most people, it's how these feel and how they work with the sound around you. And they've got this noise cancellation feature, which basically works by using microphones to listen to the noise around you and the ambient noise and cut it out. It's incredible when you put these on. You go into your own kind of world, your own pod, whatever you want to call it. You can be sitting in the middle of the busiest, noisiest place and you feel like you're in tranquility. It's amazing, it's kind of eerie, but what's even cooler about it is you can switch this on and off at the squeeze of a stem. I would say the touch of a button, but it is the squeeze of a stem. And you can then go into transparency mode. So you can instantly then switch to a mode where you can continue listening to what you're listening to, continue with your phone call, listening to your music, but you can also hear what's going on around you, because that's useful as well, of course, perhaps if you're jogging outside and from a safety perspective, you need to know what's going on around you, but also from the point of view of being polite, if you're in a cafe or an outdoor space and someone's coming to talk to you, you might want to hear what they've got to say. You might not, but it might be useful. And so to be able to do that really, really simply without having to start working through settings is really, really handy. And I think it's incredible for everyone who's working from home, who's working in shared spaces. We're all suddenly kind of pushed into these spots and these spaces where we've got to get on, we've got to work, and it might not be the most peaceful environment. To be able to do that is an absolute winner for me. So that brings me nicely onto my final point, and that is convenience. I can't get across how convenient these are to use and how much I think that would change your work and life. Certainly it has for me, and it's almost kind of takes you by surprise how convenient they are. But for example, if I wanted to start using these with this phone, which they're not paired with at all at any point in any way, all I need to do is make sure that the phone is turned on and unlocked, and then if I just bring them over next to the device and open them up, just trying to do it with one hand, the device will basically immediately recognise that there's some AirPods nearby. It doesn't matter which ones they are, they don't have to be mine or registered in any way with these, and offers me the facility to connect with the AirPods. So you could actually share AirPods quite easily. You can move seamlessly between using them on one device and another. So say you were watching a film on your phone and then you wanted to watch it on your computer or your laptop, it will recognise that and allow you to do that. So that's really easy. You can use these with Android devices as well. It is worth saying that, and PCs, but definitely if you're an Apple user, they do work really seamlessly and really nice. So I'm all on iMacs and I'm on my Apple phone as well, and for me they're working really well. Something else that's really convenient is the wireless charging case. So these come in a case like this and they can be wireless charging or not wireless charging. The case is great whichever way round because you can charge them when they're in it. So as soon as you pop these back in here, they will start to charge up, provided the case itself is charged. But we went for the wireless option, and that's really handy because I've got various wireless mats around. I can just pop them on there. I don't have to faff around plugging them in and out, which if you were going to be doing that several times a day could become a bit bit inconvenient. We don't have time for that these days, hey? So I would recommend doing that because it's definitely made it easier. Right, the last couple of things about convenience I've just got to mention. First of all, Siri. Now, Siri is nothing new, so I won't go into too much detail about this, but these feature Siri, the last ones featured Siri. It's great. You can be on a run, you can be walking down the road, your phone can be in your pocket, and you can listen to text and you can reply to text and you can make voice commands. Voice control, voice commands going to become a much bigger part of our life in 2021 and beyond, and these technologies enable that, I think, and this will allow that to happen. So love Siri, but it's nothing new, like I say. What is new is using these. Obviously, having any kind of wireless headphone if you're working from home makes life a lot easier because you don't want to have to constantly be right close to your phone if you're talking to people. Obviously, you need that close to you because you need people to be able to hear you and you need to be able to hear them even if you're on speaker mode. But with this, because they've got the built-in microphones, you don't have to be close to your phone. In fact, we actually tested how close to your phone you needed to be for this to work. It suggests in the literature that it's about 10 metres, but actually we tested it across the football field and beyond and went about 100 metres and they were still working. So that's amazing. Obviously, it depends where you live on your insulation and all those things, but it's amazing that it can do that. It then frees you up from that torture of if you're in a meeting and you've got your laptop and you have to get yourself set up and you're there for 2 hours in the same position or maybe more hours and it's horrible and everyone's getting the same view of you in the same angle every day. When you've got these, you don't need to be that close to your laptop or phone at all. You can be off doing things, you can take a break, but you won't miss anything. You can still carry on talking. People won't miss anything that you've got to say. You can even do presentations, so you could get your office set up and you could do that. It's really transformative. I promise you it will transform the way you work and you'll feel free because don't we all just feel so chained to our desks from this working from home experience? So it will breathe, I promise you, like new life into your working from home. You'll just start doing things because you can and you want to, and hopefully it'll become more dynamic. I think especially if you need to have any kind of authority when you're working from home, it's really nice to be able to do that, to step back and just to bring another dynamic into it. I cannot recommend these enough from that perspective. So that's it. That's my must-have reasons that I now have these, and hopefully you can tell from my enthusiasm that I really do think they're a game changer and a much needed one as well because we couldn't all carry on how they were. So they're not the cheapest things in the world, but I think they're an investment. I think they're well worthwhile. So I would definitely seriously consider getting them if you're not sure. I don't think you'll regret it. I haven't regretted it. I don't know anyone who has. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. I would also love it, of course, if you considered subscribing. If you've got any of your own experiences to add about the Apple AirPod Pros, then please do feel free to do so in the comments down below. But that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.